Hi, my name is Melissa Bates. I am the Small Modular Reactor Program Manager for the Office of Nuclear Energy, and I'll be covering topic RC-11 titled Advanced Small Modular Reactor Technology Development and Demonstration. All right, next slide. The Department of Energy sees a lot of benefits in pursuing small modular reactors as far as the future way of providing nuclear power in the future. There's a lot of advantages that SMRs can bring over the existing light water reactor fleet. One being that they can provide a new standard for nuclear safety. There's a number of designs that have the potential of having the emergency planning zone brought in as far as the site boundary. Granted, that's not a done deal yet. However, there's good prospects there, as well as because these units are small, they also require less capital in order to get involved, and so they have greater affordability, meaning that more entities that don't have quite as great of a need can get involved. They also have energy and grid benefits. They are kind of a prime candidate for replacing retired fossil plants, as well as they have importance to national security in regards to deploying them in the international realm. And as we move forward and as they become more momentum with development or domestic development of small modular reactors, there will be more manufacturing jobs and supply chain opportunities within the United States. So because the department sees promise in small modular reactors, in 2019, we initiated a new program titled the Advanced Small Modular Reactor Research and Development Program, and it to help the Office of Nuclear Energy with establishing an advanced reactor pipeline. In this year, as well as last year, it received an appropriation of $100 million. For next year, in fiscal year 21, we provided a request for $10 million. The House provided a mark at $297 million. So you can see there's a wide delta there between those two marks. However, even with these two numbers, our appropriations for next year are still not yet understood. The Senate needs to weigh in, as well as they need to conference before we get our final appropriation. But the goal of this program, of this new program from last year, is to support cost-shared design-related research and development for multiple advanced reactor designs to introduce these technologies into the domestic and international markets. Over the last year, or year and change, starting in 2019, we've been able to provide support to a number of industry reactor technology developers, being X-Energy, NuScale, Holtec, and Westinghouse. There's some other entities that you'll see here on the slide through the last cycle of CINR awards as well, but the large majority of our funding goes to these entities, and it supports them in developing new designs for small modular reactors, licensing activities, operations, or developing their future plans for operations and maintenance, advanced manufacturing capabilities, as well as developing their supply chain. So during the last cycle of the CINR, we made 3 awardees, or 3 selections for the applications that were received. So one was to Massachusetts Institute of Technology for highly compact steam generators for improved economics of small modular reactors. And then there were 2 different selections that went to University of Michigan to different principal investigators. One is the Innovative Enhanced Automation Control Strategies for Multi-Unit SMRs, and the the second one is deployment pathways for small modular reactors in electric power, industrial, and other niche markets to achieve cost reduction and widespread use. So congratulations to those three PIs for getting selected. So moving to this year, in our scope this year, last year we had 3 different scopes, and we decided to trim that down to just this one and focus it in on component development. So we are seeking applications to develop technologies, capabilities, and methodologies specific to SMR characteristics and environments that would help to improve their deployment, operations, and overall utility in meeting domestic and international market needs. Some examples of technology development areas where proposals are sought include design advancements, operational advancements, and diverse applications. So in summary, we are looking to support industry in deploying a cheaper, better, easier to manufacture small modular reactor, or more efficient, to make them more competitive in the current market or future market. One specific note that I would make is, especially in the third area, the diverse application, I would like to indicate that what you will see across all the different CINR scopes is there's a little bit of overlap in this area as far as providing steam or power into capabilities that could be operated from a nuclear reactor, be it hydrogen production or water desalination or something like that. And where we see our niche in this arena is, if you have some sort of technology or component that could be deployed within a nuclear reactor to make it more efficiently provide steam or power, to provide energy into that product, then that's kind of where we see ourselves. I think in some of the other scopes, that's where you're going to see more of the technology development of the actual resource being generated, other than electricity. So I don't know if that made sense, but if you have any questions, let me know. So I believe that's my last slide. Drew, do you know if there's any questions?
This is Julie, and I'm looking at the question pane right now, and right at the moment, there are no questions.
Okay.
Oh, wait, one just came in. Hang on here. Yeah, there's a few coming in now. Is grid scale resilience modeling of interest in this work scope?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
You bet. Is grid scale resilience modeling of interest in this work scope?
Is Dan Ingersoll also on the call?
He is. Let me find him here. I saw him a minute ago. I will open up.
I guess my general reaction would probably be not, but I would like to confer with him briefly.
Open up his mic. Dan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. You bet.
Okay. Well, I would agree with Melissa that there would be certainly some interest, but this applies not only to the grid resilience, but other technology developments. While we look at all of the technologies and take them seriously, the proposals, those that really get the best favor are those that specifically leverage the characteristics or capabilities of small modular reactors as opposed to just any other plant. And the grid scale resilience is such a broad end use type of issue that one would have to be a lot more specific on what is it related to grid scale resilience that SMRs can either enable or are uniquely well suited for that. And there probably are some examples, but again, it's really important for RC-11 to tie it to the specific characteristics or utilization of SMRs.
Okay, let's see. Next question. Are innovative detectors for reactor power monitoring an area of interest?
I would think that that's an item that would be worth consideration.
Yeah,
and Dan,
I agree.
Feel free to jump in if you have other thoughts.
No, I agree, but the same remarks would apply there. I mean, what is it about the design, the compactness, the design, either restrictions or flexibilities of SMRs that would drive the interest in the specific sensor?
This next question says, what kind of sensors would be of interest?
So we are really interested in applications that show direct applicability to a current reactor technology developer. So I guess where I would kind of put it back on the person asking you the question and say, go make a case, why a certain sensor is directly applicable, and indicate, who they have consulted, or which industry entity they've teamed with, to show that relevance.
Okay, that sounds great. Next question. Should there be a collaboration with specific SMR companies to develop reactor-specific technology?
I think that is definitely not a negative in application if we see that direct relevance. Similar to the last question, like I know for myself, if we see a active reactor technology developer on board with pursuing something, that gives it a whole lot more merit in my book than something that's a lot more generic.
Okay. Are design advancements associated with a take-back program for recycled fuel from domestic and international market needs a viable activity?
Sorry, Julie, can you repeat that question one more time?
You betcha. Are design advancements, and those are in quotes, design advancements associated with a take-back program for recycled fuel from domestic and international market needs a viable activity? Would there be interest in that?
So there's a number of different ways that you can interpret those words. Like take back, does that mean like receiving the used fuel back into the U.S.? I would see that more as the spent fuel program. However, if it's trying to say design advancements on how a small modular reactor could use or expend the used fuel within the reactor, that could be an option. Although that seems to be like an all new reactor technology to be pursued rather than just the enhancement. But Dan, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, as worded, the question sounds like it belongs more in the fuel cycle category, but unless it's tied specifically to an enabling characteristic of a particular or class of SMRs. And again, we prefer for this category of funding those technologies that span more than a specific design. You certainly may focus on an A design, specific design for the purposes of demonstration or case study, but it needs to be technologies that are broadly applicable.
Okay, this question is for Dan. Are compact steam generators, different type than MIT had, still of interest?
yes, I believe so. There's lots of different SMR technologies in the advanced SMR category, and the compact steam generators uh, apply to not only primary system, but as you get into diverse applications, can be more intermediate heat exchangers. So I think there's room for additional work in that area. Yes.
Will secondary side energy conversion system innovations, something other than steam cycle, be of an interest in this work scope?
So that's something that we would see more under, or fitting more under the integrated energy system scope. And Julie, I don't know which specific number that is, but I do know a scope was submitted for that topic.
Yeah, Drew, are you on? Do you know what scope that is?
Yeah, Julie, I am. I didn't hear the question though. Could you repeat that?
Yes, it says, will secondary side energy conversion system innovations other than the steam cycle be of an interest?
So the presentation for that scope area is tomorrow. Here, let me get a schedule really quickly. The scope name on that is CT-2, and it will be at 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
Okay, let's see. Next question. How much interest is there in autonomous operation capabilities?
I think that my response to that would be similar to a few questions ago, where I think that the applicant needs to make the case on why it's valuable. They, who they consulted with, and, if there's, a reactor technology developer that is showing interest in it, then that can provide, additional merit.
Okay. What specific design techniques are you looking for? Are you interested in the reactor design based on the shape optimization technique?
I think our goal is looking at it from a bit higher perspective, in the sense that we're looking to make small modular reactors more efficient, smaller, easier to manufacture, that kind of thing. And so it's kind of in that realm, that someone needs to justify their proposed project as far as how it accomplishes those goals.
Is an industrial partner needed and helpful for the university proposal? If so, how do we get faculty connected with one?
I would say that it's not absolutely needed. However, I do think it's helpful. And as far as how faculty can get connected with them, I'm not sure if either direct outreach to those entities, or maybe through the GAIN program, or through some other avenue. There might be some options there.
Melissa, I know that at least some universities, and I think many, have a special office that helps facilitate faculty alignment with industry. So they ought to be seek that out at their own university.
Okay, will technology development other than reverse osmosis for desalination be of interest?
I'm sorry, Julie, can you repeat that question one more time?
You bet. Hang on, I'm going to try to turn my microphone up. Will technology development other than reverse osmosis for desalination be of interest?
So I would see that those kind of technologies being developed for use with nuclear power, they would fit under that other work scope that Drew just mentioned. I don't remember the specific number, Drew, that you just, PC2, is that what you said?
Yeah, CT.
CT2.
Yep, CT-2.
Yeah.
That's the integrated energy systems scope, which will cover anything that's non-energy.
Okay. Are there specific SMR designs of interest? LWR, non-LWR? Will additional consideration be given to proposals that include industry partnerships?
I wouldn't say that there is a specific reactor type that is particularly of interest. I think that they're all of interest. And like Dan mentioned earlier, the more applicable the component that is under development is across the reactor fleet, the more merit it has. However, in my view, if there is a particular technology developer, that also sees value enough in order to put their own time and resources, into it, then that also shows industry interest in seeing that component development proceed.
Okay. For diverse applications, should the application focus on technology development or system modeling simulations?
So I would say component development, but I would also, Dan, would you agree?
Yeah, I think last year we had more assessment studies scope, and this year I think the intent is to be more focused on the actual things that go thump. And as you get into the systems modeling, again, that begins to move over more probably to the integrated systems category.
Okay, are design advancements to SMR fuels included in this topic?
I would think so. Dan, do you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. But again, tying it into how does the small modular packaging of the nuclear energy facilitate that particular fuel type, or vice versa?
It looks like this might be the last question. Are innovative intermediate heat exchanger technology ideas within the interest of the call?
Sure.
Okay.
In fact, we recently just awarded a very similar topic like that to a small business entity. So.
Okay, that looks like that's all the questions we have today. Thank you, Melissa and Dan, for presenting for us. And everybody will start back up tomorrow, Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with the RC6 through RC10 workscopes. Thanks for attending today.
Thank you, Julie.
Yeah.
Thank you.